All right, welcome to episode 7 of Adventures in Inbetweening. Today we're talking about anticipation and overshoots. You can see what I'm doing right here. I'm drawing the arms of the character starting out. My anticipation, let's start out with definitions. And anticipating something means you're doing, in animation, it means you're doing a pre-motion. Before you do the main motion, you're doing a motion sometimes in the opposite direction, sometimes easing towards where you're going if you're doing more pendulum motion. But basically, you're creating an action that is going to emphasize the actual motion more, either by increasing contrast or by leading into it. Depending on how cartoony you're going, it might make it seem more realistic or it might make it seem more exaggerated. With my anticipation here, you can see that I'm actually having the head go up and the arms go out, having the arms coming towards the screen in perspective. That's creating our shape change contrast there. Having the tail dragging along. You can see that I'm actually I'm drawing through the tail, drawing right through the body there. That's so I don't have to kind of guess where the tail is going to come out. I want to draw all the way through there. Here I'm starting to draw the legs, and this was the first attempt at drawing the legs. So I've got the feet rotating, which is how I want them. But because the leg is bent one way on frame and one way on the other, I drew a straight leg here, which I'm going to come back to that, you'll see. Here I'm drawing the spines on the tail and having them go around in perspective from one edge to the other there. Here I'm now going in and starting to clean up a little bit. Now I'm going to go revisit these legs. So I was looking at those legs, it just wasn't feeling good. It was technically correct going between the two drawings, but it wasn't feeling good as an individual drawing. So here I'm saying, no, that's bent too much. Yeah, let's just bend it a little bit. So it's still technically in between them. It's not halfway in between the keys before and after, but it's going to give us a much more appealing drawing. And so I'll look at these here. Yeah, put the heels up off the ground. Then I'm going to flip through it. Yeah, I'm comparing it to the previous one. It's such an improvement that I got rid of it. So here's some examples of anticipation and overshoot. This is from Alibaba Bunny in 1957. So we've got the genie character here about to zap Daffy Duck, and this is our key. And so in the anticipation there, we're going to take the hands, we're going to go further up, and you can see what we've done here. We've not only have we gone in the opposite direction with the arms, not so much the head and the body, but we've accentuated the shape change in the hands here. So we've got a nice silhouette. The hands were overlapping before, and then we opened them up. So we've got more contrast there. So we're going forward here. Now going into the action. Boom, 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 boom. Hands come forward, and they're going to go past where they're going to end up. So this is our overshoot. A lot of times there's overlap in overshoot. There's some drag. There's different types of contrast. But in this case here, it's just a pretty simple overshoot and then back. And this is where our fingers add up. There's like 4 drawings there after the overshoot. And this is where they're settling and zapping Daffy Duck. So that's settling back into key number 2. We've got another example here from a cartoon called Fast and Furry-ous from 1949. This is our coyote here. He's going to anticipate back, and then he's going to throw the boomerang, overshoot, and settle. We've got some nice smear drawings here on the way to the anticipation. The anticipation is much more extreme than just that small one we saw with the genie there. And then he zips forward. Now the overshoot, in this case, it's overlapping with the arms because the nose and the chest is going forward, but the arms have already completed the action. So it's not a simple overshoot. There's more involved there. So now I'm going to be doing the overshoot with my character. And after the anticipation up with the arms out, now I'm going to be crossing the arms. I'm going to be having the head come down. You can see I'm bending the legs there. I'm tilting the head forward. I'm doing a rough for the head here. I'm going to revisit that later to give it some added appeal. And here I'm realizing, oh, I'm going to need to squish that body down. So I need to stretch the legs out. I need to widen them so that I can actually fit this wider body in here. So there's whenever you've got something that's squashing and stretching in animation, which is one of the principles that we often use in anticipation and overshoot, we always have to make sure we're retaining the volumes. So just put it simply, if something's going to get shorter, it has to get wider. That's how we keep the same volume in there, and it doesn't make it look like the character is shrinking or expanding. And of course, when you have something coming closer to the camera, then we do want that sense of shape change. So here you can see I did those arms at first and was like, oh, I don't really like the silhouettes there, so I rotated them out so I could get the silhouettes more clear from the head. Flipping, flipping, flipping. You'll see that I flip a lot here. I'm not using onion skinning a lot. I prefer just because I came from 2D animation, it's this idea of seeing what comes before, seeing what comes after, and not necessarily needing to see them all at the same time. I just want to focus on the drawing I'm doing. So here I took the head rough that I'd done, I put it onto another frame. That's the green drawing there, and I'm going to go in, I'm redoing the drawing for more appeal. So I've already determined the perspective of the drawing, the approximate size and shapes, and now I just want to make it look better. Now I'm flipping between them, yeah. It's a lot more appealing now, it's a lot more fun, it's got more interesting shapes to it. Flipping between them, realizing that tail's not quite working for me. Yeah, I think I'm going to just redraw that whole tail. So I'm putting it again on a separate frame. That's the green line there. I'm going to go in, I'm going to improve the quality of those curves just so it's a bit nicer, a little bit more appealing, flipping between that to make sure it's feeling good. Yeah, that's all good. And now I'm going to go in and color it. So you can see the speeds that I'm doing. There was about 4 or 5 times the speed when I was doing the drawing there. This was originally maybe 25 minutes condensed down, but for this coloring, this was 10 times the speed now because it's not as creative of a job, it's more technical. So you can see I'm putting on 2 different tone layers for the green here. I'm going to put in a third one on the inside of the mouth just because it's that much darker. Thinking about the light source from the top right hand side, as I often do, just to give us some consistency with it. Yeah, that's all feeling good. So now I'll go to that was my anticipation. Now I'm going to my overshoot. Paint everything all green at first. Just get those yellows in now for the horns and the spikes and the chest. That's feeling good. Let's get the inside of that mouth there. Get some rough tones on. Yeah, that's all feeling pretty good. Started out with my darker tones, and I'll go with my lighter tones. Thinking about where the highlights are going to be hitting. Thinking about, the tongue's a little bit lighter. So there's my first key, my anticipation overshoot, and my second key. We'll watch it again. Yeah, that's all feeling good. Let's flip through it. Yeah, it's got some nice motion to it. I like it. All right, that's it for now. Click thumbs up, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.